Alright, guys. So, for the second week of our practice, we tried to make it even more simpler. It was a little bit confusing because there was a lot of people that showed up, which we did not expect. But this is good because for the next time, we can have a split team and actually practice uh, more of the roles. So, we divided it into three roles: rally leaders, uh, for role 1, role 2, players that will TP at the start, and role 3, players with no TP to start. This is for top and bottom team only, and these are the roles that we will be practicing for right now. So, role 1, if you are rally leaders, there are two rally leaders for top and bottom. So, if you are rally leader number 1, right at the start, all you're doing at the start of the match is launching a cav rally to our obelisk. This is because of this mountain block, and this is to defend the enemy against the enemy fast cav rally like a CC Khan. And the only way to get here in time is by rallying it ourselves with our own cav rally. So if you are rally leader number 1, you should be rallying the obelisk with a cav rally if you are mountain block. If there is no mountain block, like let's say if you are here at the bottom, you would just rally it with a fast infantry march, which would be Alex Charles. But since for the purpose of practice, we've been doing just topside mountain block, we for rally leader number 1, we will rally the obelisk with a cav rally. That's all you do. No other marches out. This is to limit a delay on your TP. And as soon as you TP, you will be responsible for this lane, this file. That's why you will port your city towards here so that it is closest to the Shrine of Life and the Sky Altar. And this is to uh, limit or to reduce the marching distance and marching time to get to the Shrine of Life and the Sky Altar. So as soon as you TP, you will open a cav rally to the Sky Altar, and you will have all the cavs that are in here from the players that are designated a TP at the start to join it. So, because this needs to be emptied out of all the cavs and be replaced by infantry marches. So, again, you will launch as soon as you port in, launch a cav rally to the Sky Altar using either a Khan YSG or a Khan Saladin. The YSG is so that you can clear any surrounding enemy marches that are trying to swarm it. But yeah, so that's pretty simple. Cav rally launch, and then immediately send your infantry captain to garrison that Shrine of Life, which will be Charles plus Constantine, or if you don't have that, use Charles Richard Julius Caesar, but it has to be infantry. Then if the enemy is not rallying this obelisk anymore, you can remove your cav march from here, and you will have 3 marches available to help swarm any any incoming enemy rally to your Shrine of Life, which you are responsible for. And that is why you ported here, so that you can always send your 3 marches to help swarm it or refresh troops. But that is what you are going to be doing throughout the whole match, just defending your Shrine of Life and continuously rallying the Sky Altar. and then you make sure you do your call outs to help either remind people to refresh their troops in Shrine of Life. This is only 1 mil capacity. This is 1.5 mil capacity. So, remind people to refresh their troops and to join your rally. Make it simple. Do your callouts like, for example, Cav rally on Martin. So Cav rally only on Martin, and then they'll have it filled. And just make simple call outs like that. Yep. Rally leader number 2. Rally leader number 2, which will be designated an R4 title so that they can have a saved spot for their city when they pour it in. It's usually divided between the R5 and the R4 titles. Whoever can enter first will usually be in order between the very first city up front and then the two other remaining R4 title. So we should have it cleared out, like, if you are an R4 with a title and you are not rally leader number 2, which is responsible for fast capturing the obelisk, then you should wait a bit so that you are not blocking their city location porting. So right at the start, for rally leader number 2, your job immediately is to target the outpost with a fast cav march using a mobility cav primary, and have it be filled with presetted with 100 T1 cav troops. So immediately, right at the start, target this outpost with 100 T1 cavs, and if there are any provision nodes along the way between here to the first outpost and then here between this outpost to the obelisk, use that to refresh your speed buff. And this is to get the fastest obelisk capture time so that you're able to TP in immediately. Let's see. So right at the start, that's your main job, is just to fast capture the obelisk. You should not have any other marches out. This is to prevent any delay on your TP. So after you fast capture the obelisk, you send that march back to the outpost, either to capture this last remaining outpost or capture it or move it back here. This is to prevent your marches from getting sniped out by any enemy fast cav march or the enemy rally. That way you don't delay your timer in case they snipe it and it takes like 2 minutes for it to return all the way back to your city dead. But that's your role right at the beginning. Because you have an R4 title, your city will be ported close to the entrance, and you will have the shortest distance to claim the obelisk. And this will apply to the bottom obelisk side as well, which will actually be faster because there's no mountain block here. This mountain block adds like a minute to the marching distance. As soon as you TP in, you are responsible for the Desert Altar and the Shrine of War. So you have to position your city porting right here to reduce the marching distance and time. So as soon as you port in, you immediately open a rally. You immediately launch a rally to the Shrine of War, and then you send an infantry march to captain garrison this Desert Altar. This Shrine of Life and this Desert Altar has to be full infantry throughout the whole match, with either a Charles Constantine or a Richard Charles to or a Richard Julius Caesar to stall out any Attila Takeda rallies. But optimally, we would want a Charles Constantine in each of these to defend against an Attila Takeda. So after you port in, you launch a rally immediately to the Shrine of War. Um, and since these two will be infantry, the only remaining troop type you'll have available usually, since our team doesn't have much troops and much commanders, you can use a cav rally with the YSG secondary. We want it to be secondary YSG so that it'll help clear out any surrounding enemy marches here. And you will use your 3 available marches to help defend your desert altar that you're responsible for by swarming any incoming enemy rally or enemy marches that are trying to swarm it. But since your city's close here, it's located right here, you're able to refresh your troops a lot faster. But throughout the whole match, these are the only 2 buildings you are responsible for. So make your callouts, like, if people need to refresh their infantry in Desert Altar or to join your rallies to the Shrine of War. Just make that callouts very clear. That's all you do. And then for the people who are designated a TP at the start but are not rally leaders, theirs is kind of a little bit more complicated, but with more practice, it'll be second nature. So right at the start, immediately send a cav march to the Shrine of Life, so that it can. This is the farthest structure, so you need to immediately, as soon as the match starts, immediately send a cav march here to help defend or claim it before the 52-minute opening, and then join the cav rally that is going to the obelisk here. If it's already full, then don't need to send anymore. So join. So to recap, right at the start, if you are one of the players that are designated a TP at the start, you send 1 cav march here, join rally, and then send 1 infantry march here to the desert altar, to help defend or claim at the 52-minute opening. That's the only marches you should have on the map, so that you are able to TP immediately. This is where it kind of gets a little bit complicated. So this Shrine of Life will be full of cav marches. So since it only has a 1 mil cap, only 4 to 5 players can fit in here at a time. So if you can TP in first, once the rally leader TPs in before all of us, they will immediately launch a cav rally here to the Sky Altar. After you TP, not before, but after you TP, then you can join this cav rally that's going to the Sky Altar by using the cav that's inside here. If this cav rally gets full already and you can't join, move your cav marches out and forward to around this area so that it is within reach to help reinforce this cav rally or to help swarm this Sky Altar. But this needs to be removed from all cavs and to allow the other players, since there's 7 or 8 cities total here and there's 2 rally leaders, that leaves 5 players that need to use this. So there should only be there should be 1 player that's still waiting to TP and can't TP at the start. But as soon as you TP, you join this cav rally using the cav march that you have here at the Shrine of Life. If it's already full, then move this out and forward to the sky altar, because this needs to be removed of all the cab marches. Right after that, you send one infantry march here to the Shrine of Life, to help defend this, because these two buildings have to be infantry throughout the whole match to defend. And since you had originally already sent infantry march here to the desert altar, you don't need to send another one, because it's already positioned well. And then if you had uh, a cav in this cav rally at the beginning, if the enemy rally is not rallying it anymore, just return it back to your city. So at all times, you should have four marches out, one infantry here, and join a cav rally here, and if you can join another rally here. But you should always have one available march ready to use for either defending this obelisk, by garrisoning it in case they rally it, or you can use it to help make your refresh troops easier. Like, let's say you're low on infantry here, you use that one available march to send it over and then send it back. Throughout the whole match, you guys will just be responsible for holding these two structures, and then just continuously rallying these. Because if we hold these, that's already a big plus for us, because the difference is going to be in the middle and in provisions. So if you guys can just do your job and protect our building throughout the whole match without it getting captured, and continuously rallying, the Sky Altar and Shrine of War, that's already a big plus for the rest of the team. All right, and the last rule: if you do not get a TP at the start, very simple. As soon as the match starts, you send it here to the centroid, which is the center of the triangle. This is so that you are also not blocking the obelisk TP area, but it is also within reach to help defend against any incoming enemy cav rally that is either going to hit the obelisk or that's going to break and try to snipe out the Shrine of Life or Desert Altar. But right at the beginning of the match, immediately send all your 5 marches here. That way it's on standby to join any of the rallies, and then send your 2 infantry marches to the Shrine of Life, Desert Altar. This is just for the opener. So between the game time of 15 minutes and 38 minutes, if you get the chance, you should be able to TP in your city, by either having all your marches inside a structure or city. And the rule or the mechanics is that each obelisk controlled generates 1 TP every 5 minutes. So we will have, two of these obelisks. So every 5 minutes we will have 2 TPs ready to use for the people at the start that did not get to TP. But it's pretty simple. 5 marches, immediately send them right here, so that you are within reach to react to any rallies or fill any shrine. And that is it. Let us start the match. Oh. Let's see. This is the match.
Four.
Could someone try going around the back?
Okay. This is the match. Let's see what we did here. So for the Arc Pactus match, we learned that you actually do not start with the 3 energy bar, not like in the actual game, which you do. So since we don't start with a 3 energy bar, we had to have someone claim the bottom obelisk as well to give us access to the 10 TPs at the start. And I'm gonna fast forward it 40 seconds. So for me, I was practicing the role of a player who is not a rally leader but is designated a TP at the start. So immediately I sent a march here to the Shrine of Life. I sent a cav march so that it's the first thing I do. Send a cav march there, join the cav rally if it's not full, and then go to our desert altar, hold and click, send a march with infantry. It takes a while because we were kind of busy with our Discord chat or our Discord voice chat. So I was struggling to find a cab march. But as you can see, I'm already wasting like maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds trying to find an infantry march. So as you can see here, Professor Rock had an R4 title, so his city was the furthest or the closest to the entrance. So he had clear access or the shortest pathing to the obelisk. So he targeted the outpost first, used that to refresh the. Oh. So for some reason here, someone had sent a rally that made us wait 29 seconds. I had mistakenly thought it was mine. So I just returned it, but it was someone else's. So the rally kind of got delayed by maybe 10, 15 seconds. And it went back to my city. But ideally, if you can join the rally at the start, you should only have 3 marches out at the beginning. One in the cab rally to the obelisk, one cab march to the Shrine of Life, and one infantry march to the Shrine of War or the desert altar or whatever this closest building here is. As you can see here, we were testing to see if pathing behind the mountain will get there faster, but not really. Professor Rock had the fastest timer, and it could have even been reduced because he did not use a provision node along the way to refresh that buff. And this week's arc practice, we actually captured it a lot faster. As I'm gonna rewind here back, we captured it at 55 minutes. Oh, here, 55 minutes and let's see, 55 minutes and 8 seconds, which in last week's match, we captured it at 46 minutes and like 46 seconds. So that's a difference of 25 seconds. And this is due to this buff right here. For this week's match, we popped the Unbridled Progress, which gives the 10% speed buff. Last week's match, practice match, we did not pop that buff. That's why we were a little bit slower. Alright, so I'm checking the timers, the opening timer. This is open at 52 minutes. As you can see, my blue line, that was the first thing I sent. It was a cab march. I sent another blue line there, infantry march. There's the rally, there's the cab rally. See, this is so that we can defend against an enemy fast cav rally like a CC Khan. Let's see, 54. And again, to clarify, I'm playing in this practice match. My role here is someone who will TP at the start but is not a rally leader. So I have my two only my 2 marches out and ready to be positioned inside a building so that I can TP in. I'm double checking the TP time available, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Go, go, go. Let's see. It's a little slow. I'm going to fast forward it. See, here's my infantry march. And it's ready to be in position to defend against the enemy rally that either broke and trying to snipe the Shrine of Life or the Desert Altar. Alright, I'm going to fast forward you. Okay, so at 52 minute, I'm able to TP. The 2 rally leaders were able to TP before then. Put that inside a building. Alright, my marches are inside the building. Immediately TP in here. We thought, it was just because this obelisk was a little bit late in capturing. But we should have had 10 TPs at the start. So I was able to TP in. Good. And then since they had the 2 rally leaders immediately launched the rally, the timer is already ticking, so it was just perfect for like if we're staggering the TPs. So immediately after I TP in, I joined the rally, and I moved out my cav rally here. This shrine of, I'm gonna pause it. This Shrine of Life has to be removed of all cab marches because it has to be replaced by full infantry. So once you TP in, you can use the cab marches that's inside here to join that rally, and if it's already full, you move that cab march forward to help get it in position to reinforce the rally or to help swarm, but this should be emptied out and be replaced by an infantry march, which I had forgot here because I was too busy directing the steps. But as you can see here, a successful opener is that this should be filled or be in position to be filled full infantry. Same here. I'm gonna check. Let's see. And then always you'll have 4 marches out, and then with that final 5th one in reserve to fill either the obelisk or to help refresh your troops. But I'm checking here, checking to make sure like that it's a Charles Constantine. Charles should be primary, not Constantine, but I'm making sure that if it's a successful opener, full infantry immediately. And this same goes here. There should be full infantry as well. But we were kind of a little bit late. And as you can see here, look at the game time. It's 49 minutes, and our rallies are already almost touching it. And this opener will help catch enemy off guard, because they're just now like porting in if they're slow. And that's a successful opener with all the cities designated a TP at the start to have TP'd in, join the rallies, and fill the 2 buildings. And that's all you do throughout the whole match. You maintain and refresh your troops here and then continuously rally here. But if you can just defend these 2 structures of ours, that's already a leg up and a bonus for the rest of the team, because the difference by then will be the middle arc and provisions. And that is the recap for the second week of our art practice. Stop recording.